Okay. I've taken the liberty of going ahead and going through the entire vault and cleaning out all the garbage, because we've already seen me do that. We already know how to clean up blood and trash. And I wanted to show you a couple of things real quick also that I took care of. You'll notice this room is really nice and well lit all of a sudden. I went through and made sure I knew what I was talking about with the torches and stuff. This is an example of a torch. What this is literally... I'll show you. 0002 5B451. And then get the new one here. Get POS. Let's see. X set POS X 24424. Let's do 2490. And I'll move it out. Whoop. Move it out of the way. All that is just one of the lights from any metro tunnel. They're all over the place if you look in the metro tunnels and stuff. They're everywhere. They're even in some offices and such. They're just like little utility lights. But what I've done is I've taken that and, put it to the wall nicely in a good spot, and then I scaled one of the flame barrels down and just kind of put it over the light so it looks like a little torch. Simple. You can come up with all kinds of different ideas. But I went out and found one real fast so I could get the base object of it and show you what I was talking about with having like torches or such, if you wanted to do that. But you'll notice that even though there's only 3 barrels in this room is surprisingly well lit. How about the tunnel? I put a flame barrel here and a flame barrel up there, and that's it. But this tunnel is surprisingly well lit for having only 2 flame barrels, and that's because I was telling you in the previous episode about putting it just above the surface of the ceiling, and the light will still go through, as you can see. And that's not the only place I did that. If I go up and look down, out of the way of this giant rock, if I go up and look down, you'll see I've got 2 sitting in this room as well. And it makes for really good light. You don't see, unless you really look hard, you don't see the flames coming through the floor. Like here, might be able to see some right here. If we watch it long enough, you might see a flame or 2 pop out of the ceiling. There we go. There was one. You'll see a few of them, but really, it's not that. You don't see it that easily. But it lights the area up really nicely. So yeah, that's one thing you can do. You definitely want to make sure you get at least 1 flame barrel in the room that's within earshot, because the flaming barrels that you put above the ceiling are also going to make the same burning noise. But I just wanted to show you that it is possible to light a place up really nicely with just like 1 flame barrel in the room and then the rest in the ceiling if you wanted to. It's up to you. It's going to go through the wall. If you go too far above the ceiling, the light won't go through anymore. Like this room is dark. I'll probably put one, like above here, so it lights this area up, and maybe a flame barrel in the corner or something. And a flame barrel in that corner, and, just to light the area up, make it look like we've got the vault lit up. But it's not actually lit up. So that's something you can do. But I took the liberty of going through and removing the trash out of the rest of the vault. There's no more garbage on the grounds. But the only thing I haven't done is, inventory everything. And turn my pip light on here. I haven't inventoried anything that's in the cloning lab or the living quarters. Because I kind of wanted to do that on camera in case there was anything. I didn't pick anything up either. Just in case there was anything noteworthy. So the only thing I've done is loot the bodies. Remove the bodies. Remove the trash. Remove the blood stains. Broken glass. All that good shit. So now what I'm going to do is start from this entrance of the living quarters, go through and pick up everything, and I'm going to do it in high speed. I just wanted, I wanted you to be able to see what I was picking up as well. But I'm going to do it in high speed because most of it's going to be shit like books. But in case I come across something noteworthy, like a locker that's got, okay, there we go, recon armor in it. That's noteworthy. Not incredibly noteworthy, but that way you get to see that I've added a pair of recon armor to my inventory, etc. So yeah. I don't want you thinking that I'm like spawning anything in like a minigun. Oh, he's got a laser minigun. Where'd he get it? I bet he spawned it in because he's using the console. I'm not. I'm not cheating per se. by spawning in all the godly items and stuff for myself. We have to find those. We're doing this the real way, you know? So I'm going to run through. I'm going to pick everything up in high speed, and hopefully most of it you'll be able to tell what it is. It deals with the books on that shelf. Other things will keep, like buckets. I will add buckets, but I may end up making it a legacy item because you find so many of them, and there's really not many reason for them. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so from this point, I'm over encumbered, so I'm going to go back upstairs real fast and drop everything off in my giant crap box. And I'm just going to cut straight back to re-entering this room, so. Because even on high speed, walking around over encumbered takes forever. Yeah. I could just modify my carry weight, but I'm not going to mess with that right now. I mean, that's something you could definitely do, especially since we're doing scavenging, but I think what we'll do is, before we do like a modified carry weight, we'll make it seem a little more realistic. Like maybe we have to go out and find, a truck or something. You know? Bring a working vehicle to the scene. And then we'll modify our carry weight, because then we can carry a lot more. Something, you know, I don't know, something like that. Use your imagination. Alright, so, there we go. We're moving a little faster now. Did I get everything in this room? Yes. Alright, so back to it. On a side note, everything is significant, especially like, you know, in the scavenging situation. If you were really surviving, you know, cups may not seem like a big deal to grab. Food, if you're going to eat, you got to have a fork. You know, you wouldn't have to have a fork, but you wouldn't want to eat with your dirty hands, especially in a situation like this. But yeah, you know, bottles, even bottles can hold water. They have a purpose. So you don't want to just pass it up just because there's a lot of garbage. Build up a collection of stuff that you would think you would really look out for. Pots and pans for cooking. By the way, this one brings up a good point. There are pans in this game that you'll have to use the GBO to reuse those pans. You won't be able to pick them up. These can't be picked up. There are some that are like it that can be picked up. But, yeah. I like to have a diverse selection of pans to make it look a little more like I've actually scavenged them. So I'm going to be grabbing the base object of that. So lots of stuff. I'm going to pick it all up. Because it's all going to have a practical application to me, or a practical use. Okay, well, I got encumbered quite fast. I didn't even make it through the rest of the commons room here. So, I am going to go ahead and modify my carry weight for this particular instance, just for the sake of filming. I can modify it back when I'm done, but I'm going to show you how that's done. Player.modav. Let's see what my carry weight is first. 200 is my maximum. So, player.modav carry weight, I think is what it is. And then you would add like a number. And since it's 200, I'm just going to add 5,000 straight to it. Now, if you look, my carry weight's 5,200. I can minus 5,000 when I'm finished with this. But I would really like to be able to not have to go back up to that carry box, or that crap box, every 2 rooms, since there's so much stuff in this vault. So I'm going to go ahead and cheat there just a little bit. I lost karma for that? Really? Whatever. Probably because I've set myself as the owner. But I didn't set that as I didn't set myself as the owner of that save. Oh well, I don't care. It happens when you fuck around with console. Expect things to not work quite like you expected. You know, you can't blame Bethesda because of what we're doing here. You can only blame yourself. Oh, there's something I missed. You know, that brings up another good point. You do this stuff at your own risk. Okay? You probably shouldn't do this with a save file that you care about. Or at least make an extra save of before you start fucking with it. Because the console is unpredictable. This game is not meant to be played like this. You cannot blame anyone but yourself for anything that's gonna happen that might go wrong in the process of doing any of this. So this is an at your own risk situation. Bethesda's not going to troubleshoot anything that you did with your console. Because you weren't supposed to fuck with it in the first place. That was there for them, not for you. We're going to do something very interesting with this room. But not right now. As a matter of fact, I personally would like to thank Bethesda for having left the console, for having left us an opportunity to use the console, so that I could expand my enjoyment of the game into something a little more creative, like a new creative avenue, such as being able to play the game like I am today. I don't always play it like this, but I sure do have a lot of fun when I do. Even though it seems tedious, it's just a lot of fun to play like this. Alright, so that takes care of that. First thing I'm going to do is reset my carry weight here. So now I'll do minus 5,000. And that doesn't make it static. It basically adds to or subtracts from. So I'm back to 200, as you can see. There is a way to do it like force mod AV or something like that, or mod AV force it to be a certain number. It's just easier to do it that way. Because I know how much I added, now I know how much I take away. Yeah, anyway, so we're ready to go through and inventory stuff. So, let's start with this room. I think I'm going to make this room, since it's right near the door, I think I'm going to make this room my room. This is going to be my home. And then, of course, it's right down the street from the commons. And then the rest of these rooms, some of these rooms we can make for other people to live in the vault. Let's start off with this thing. We need to get the base object of this. And I need a new page. So let's flip this over. We're going to start writing down some base objects. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the base object. Like this. And then I'm going to write it down. Well, hell, we'll just go through it together. So we've got this already. So I'm not sure what to call this. It's a metal shelf. But it's a different metal shelf than the other metal shelves. So I'm going to call it Metal Shelf Rusty. Metal Shelf Rusty. So it's just different from the other ones. We're going to add it 0004261. So far we have one of those. Alright. There's two. There's two of those in this room alone, so we'll mark down another one, and I'm going to go ahead and disable them. Because I've added them. Oh, there's three. Wow. Wasn't even paying attention. So I've added them to our inventory so we know we have them. Let's get the base object of the bucket. Metal bucket. Because there are other kinds of buckets. There's probably even a wooden one in this game somewhere. 0003. Oh, no, 0. 4 zeros. 39DE. We got two of those. Disable them now. Whoops. We already have the box, metal box. So I'm just going to write down metal box. And add 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get rid of those. Now, locker. There are several different types of lockers in here. Okay, like for maybe this might be a good example. Okay, these are all 5, 8, 7, 11. Okay, if I go outside of this room and look at some of the other lockers that are available, you'll notice this one's 10. That one's 15. Now, there's a reason for that, and it has something to do with the loot tables. To be completely honest with you, I'm not going to be worried about what kind of locker is spawning in, because I'm not going to be worried about the rotation of loot that you can get from it after I spawn it in. I'm going to set its ownership to me, so that only I can store what I want in there, and the contents will never change. It isn't going to matter which locker you pick. They're all identically the same. The only reason they have different base objects is because of the loot tables. Like, in 15, you might find advanced armor or something. You know, like recon helmet, recon armor. But in 11, you might find leather armor. And in 10, you might find just garbage, like cups and ashtrays and shit like that. So, I mean, realistically, it's not going to matter which one you choose. I'm just going to go with the one that's right in front of me. So, that's 11. So, we're going to write metal locker. Zero 58711 58711, and we have at least three of them in this room, and there's a lot more around. So 1, 2, 3. We'll get to those as we get to them. Step back so I can get them all in my view, and disable them. Now, if you want to be tedious about it because you're wanting to reuse them as in terms of a loot drop, like maybe you want to put some at the front of the vault, and those will be some places that you hit for scavenging or whatever. That's up to you. But realistically, it's kind of dumb. Add a metal box. We added 5 total. We have 5 total. I'm going to write Rusty PC because we already have it recorded. I know that for sure. Rusty PC. Metal table. And toolbox, all +1. So I can remove those now. I don't know if we have a first aid box yet, so I'm going to get the base object of it. I'm going to say F, it's called first aid box, so FA box. 0002. Whoops, there we go. 700D. These also might have different base objects just based on loot tables. It's not that big a deal for me which one I'm going to be recording because in the end, its loot table won't matter. Can I use this executive chair? Nope. So we'll add executive chair. So it's exec chair. +1, and then add one more to Rusty PC and metal table. And get rid of all those. So that's basically, that's the general idea of how you inventory stuff. These are also their own base object. See? Those are also their own base object. Like if you want to put something on that wall and you want to remove that or move it somewhere else, you could. That's up to you. Same goes for the little vault speaker radios. They're also their own base object. They're separate from the wall. However, this decal is not. You click on this decal, it's part of the wall. So, yeah. There are some things like these. These are actually part of the door. So is the little pipe. Or, I guess, the wire. Is all part of the door. These are separate from the wall. You'll find that there's a lot. When you want to know, just check it by clicking on it. And then disable, enable, just to see, what disappears. If the whole door disappears, it's all part of the door. If the whole wall disappears, it's all part of the wall. Alright, so that takes care of that room, right? That was everything? Yeah, that room's empty. Unless I want to deal with those, but I want to know what this is. So there's at least 4 loose objects in this room that can be moved around if I wanted to move them around. So, I'm going to leave them there for now. Because, it's not like I'm going to be worried about the base object of these things. These... Maybe some other time, but not right now, for sure. Because they're all kind of part of the vault atmosphere. If anything, I may just move them or get them out of the way, delete them. I don't know.